Okay, sounds like a plan. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to another workshop, which is part of our Weedy Wednesday series. The last Wednesday of every month at 4 p.m., we present a webinar or workshop to help guide entrepreneurs into success. I am Kristen Gregory. My co-host is Purnima Mohan. I am the community engagement coordinator, and Purnima is the economic development coordinator. And we're here to present a very interesting webinar today. It's a panel discussion featuring several of our success stories. Let me tell you a little bit about WEDI first, though. WEDI stands for Westminster Economic Development Initiative. Our vision is that all residents of Western New York can succeed and thrive in a culturally inclusive community. WEDI strengthens communities. Our mission is to strengthen communities through a continuum of education and financial resources, removing systemic barriers to economic equity for all Western New Yorkers. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. We have three distinct components, which one is our CDFI, which stands for Community Development Financial Institution, where we might have microloans, and that is through our Economic Development Department. We also operate the West Side Bazaar, which is a business incubator and a community gathering space. What a lot of people don't know about us is that we have an education component as well, where we focus on English language learners. We have the Energy program, which is for elementary students. We have the Fly program, which is for the middle school. And we have a Launch program, which is for high school. And we also have peer groups. And as I said, this today is a very exciting workshop because it is featuring two of our fantastic success stories. We have Christine from Prime Care Transportation. We have David Deutsch from Flowered Wellness, and we have James from Flowered Wellness. So I pass the microphone over to Purnima and our panelists. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Kristen, for that lovely introduction. And welcome, Christine and David and James, for this wonderful panel. We look forward to hearing about all your successes in your fields. So if you would like to introduce yourselves, please. Christine, would you like to go first?
Of course. Okay, my name is Christine Uwimbabazi. Originally from Rwanda, and that's in Eastern Africa. I came here in 2000 as a college student. So I graduated from computer science and a minor in mathematics. I'm married to Reverend Phoebe, who is also the co-founder. So we own this business together. We have three wonderful kids. We have our son, who's 14 now. We have a 9-year-old and also two girls. We are busy. We're a busy family. And I love the outside. I love my job. And also, I'm the president of Prime Care Transportation. So that's it for me, I guess.
Thank you, Christine. I see that it says you don't know how to swim, but I'm sure it's never too late.
I'm scared of the water, but I love to put my feet in the water. Yeah. And also I love barbecue. I love family time. That's what I do. I love family, but every minute counts for me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christine, and welcome again. David and James, would you like to introduce yourselves, please?
Sure. Yeah, James, why don't you start? My name is James Rizzacaro. I'm one of the co-founders and managing partners of Flowered Wellness. I am a graduate from the Rochester Institute of Technology. I was a Buffalo native from the West Side. Currently, I have two children. I have a 7-year-old, 7.5-year-old, and also a 10-month-old. 7-year-old daughter and a 10-month-old son. And I'm also was recently married just a few months back in January. And then, of course, Flowered Wellness. This is something very special to us, to myself especially. It's my father is certifies patients with the medical marijuana program, and my aunt as well, and my cousins involved as well, and my good friend, close friend David as well. So, it's a very, very family oriented, and I come from a very, very large family, so it just is it's special to the heart.
Wonderful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. And for me, my name's David Deutsch. I'm also co-founder, operations manager, president. I kind of do a lot of the day-to-day talking to clients. But for me personally, my background originally professionally was in occupational therapy, and I worked in the school setting with kids, pediatric school-based treatment. And I was going for my master's and decided that it wasn't exactly the right fit for me, my path forward in life. So I actually decided to defer and go to get a degree in psychology. And my passion at the time was actually in hospitality mainly. And that was actually how James and I met before Flowered Wellness started. So a lot of what we do, a lot of what internally drives me has to come back to hospitality and being hospitable to our clients and our guests that come into the space. But my family, I have a 18-month-old actually tomorrow. She's turning 18 months and she's amazing. Her name's Benny. And my wife and I, we're loving, growing a family together and building a home together. And that's really what's pushing me forward a lot in the recent months, especially with everything going on around us. And for me, Flowered Wellness is just so important, and we feel really honored to be able to showcase the business and ourselves, and and help kind of explain our relationship with Weedy and how Weedy's been beneficial to us too.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing your individual journeys as to how you got to become an entrepreneur, and it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to now hear about your businesses a little bit, please. So, Christine.
All right. So Prime Care Transportation is a non-emergency medical transportation. So what we do, we take people who don't need like ambulance, who can wait to get to their doctors, or if they have scheduled pickup. So we pick clients from home, nursing homes or hospitals, who are being discharged, or if somebody needs to go to dialysis or their doctor's appointment. As you know, mobility is an issue right now, especially when we are having older generation. So we transport people who don't even have wheelchairs, so we can provide a wheelchair to them and take them to their doctor's appointment. Or if they have a wheelchair, we will pick them up, drop them off, they'll call us, and we'll come back and pick them up. And there's some people who are bedridden, who cannot even sit in the wheelchair. So we do have stretchers for that, to transport them to their appointments and come back to pick them up. So we are fortunate to be able to do this right now. COVID has made people really weak. We can see like stretcher transport going up like crazy. And that's what we do. We also work with different nursing homes when they have issues, so we can be there for them. So we have some contracts with nursing homes to transport their clients. And we are here in Buffalo. Our office is here in Bailey, it's heart of Bailey. And the reason we are in Bailey is because me and my husband live in the same place, near, like 5 minutes away. But we also know that It's very important for people to get a job. And we discussed that. We said we can go to Amherst, we can go anywhere, have a discounted price for insurance, but here people will come in. It's easy. Like they come in, they see us, they see our vans parked at the lot, they come in and apply. And it's convenient. There's a bus, people are nearby. My drivers, most of them are living here in the east side. So it's convenient, and we are part of this solving this problem of mobility, which is a huge, huge issue right now. That's what we do, and we work in Niagara County. Sometimes we can go to Jamestown. We had a time where we would go 5 hours from Buffalo. Until you know that you have, when we are okay right now, you are healthy, you really don't understand when something hits you, and then you cannot move until you see, okay, I need a wheelchair van. I can't. Our vans, our regular car cannot transport, or if you have a mom and they need to go to your appointment, you can call off because you need to go to work. So that's the solution we bring into this business, to make sure people have like that peace of mind. They can come and pick her up and I know she'll be home. So that's what we do. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christine, for understanding the needs of the community and filling the gap. Thank you. Moving on to David and James about Flowered Wellness.
Yeah, so Flowered Wellness, we started back in 2018, but I would say we've become something a little bit different, a little bit more established and bigger in the last couple of years. We're located in the heart of Orchard Park, right on North Buffalo Street, in the village, basically, of Orchard Park, New York. And what we do is we're a cannabis community care collaborative space. And what that means is we operate in partnership with multiple businesses that offer services. And the main idea is to really focus on overall health and wellness, and particularly cannabis health and wellness, which is something we're extremely passionate about. And one of the things that we talk about a lot is the endocannabinoid system in a person's body. That is a root level operating system that we focus on tremendously to target with all these support services, educating clients on how they can support themselves, and providing as much education, support, and guidance as possible related to the medical marijuana program in New York State, hemp or CBD products, and then just bridging the gap in education for clients and patients alike.
Wonderful. Thank you, James and David. So why did you start your business and what made you become an entrepreneur? Because you all have varied backgrounds and your businesses are completely different than your backgrounds. Could you give us some insights into that? And David and James, if you could start, please.
Yeah, go for it.
I went for myself, went to RIT, as I stated before, and I was graduated from the Business Administration School, or the School of College of Business with a Business Administration degree. And the class that I enjoyed by far the most was entrepreneurship. And it's what I excelled at in small group communication. And it's just something that I guess as they teach in that class, it's a burning desire within that, that drives me. So why I became an entrepreneur, why we had a like vision and saw a need that was a gap in the community, a gap in the whole cannabis market, the wellness market, science, and just care as well. So just bringing all that together, the need, and then matched with that burning desire, and matched with the right situations around it's just, that's my driving.
For me, I came from a family of entrepreneurs. My parents both operate a small occupational therapy agency. One of my sisters started her own brand, kids apparel brand, and a photography business. And she's also an attorney. And then my other sister was an occupational therapist and started her own business, Motherhood OT, that focused on mothers, early expectant mothers, and treatment with occupational therapy. I always knew I was going to own my own business. It was just a matter of the industry. When I first started in hospitality, I always felt like I was going to do that. I was going to open up a restaurant or some type of establishment. And when James and I started talking more about the cannabis industry, his father, being a licensed certifier in New York State and having the passion to transition people from pharmaceuticals into a more healthier, holistic approach, my light bulb started going off, and my personal connection to cannabis and my entrepreneurial drive and meeting James and his family. And it was like that was the big catalyst for everything and us coming together around Flowered Wellness with Flowered Wellness.
Wonderful. Thank you, David and James. I know there's a lot of legal issues that you need to deal with as well in this industry. And thanks for making your dream a reality.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure. I want to give Christine time, obviously, but that's definitely a big factor.
For sure. Thank you, Christine. How did you start your business?
Oh, mine, it started in kind of the same way, but so in 2012, I had a baby. Like every time I have a baby, I stay at home. So I'll stay home for a while. So I'll be involved like too much in the community. Like I'll be driving around like crazy. So that was like in 2012. I'll transport people to like Jericho Road, for their appointments, go downtown most of the time. And then one time they said you can do this as a business. I didn't think like that much. But after like my baby was like 1.5 years, I went back to work. And then my friend started the business, and he told me, you can join, there's, you love to drive, because I used to love to drive. I remember in college when they ask you, I want to be like I want to work for a post service, just driving around, knowing what's going on in the neighborhood. I love that. And he told me, why don't you join? And I was like, no, I don't want to be a taxi driver and stuff like that. But I work like part-time, only 6 hours, because my husband was going for his doctorate. So I was like juggling, customer service, So I did my customer service. And then one time in the summer of 2017, my husband was working, looking for a job, like a summer job between classes. So he went to work for him. So when he went there, it's like, second day, third day, he's like me. So he's like, Christine, you need to come. You need to come. So by the end of July, I took my time off, like my sick time and stuff like that. I said I need to take some so I can see, you want to see and before you dive in. So I went there. I worked like 2 weeks as a regular taxi driver. And so as I'm driving, I see the need, I'm learning. So I called my employer, I say, you know what, I'll come. I'll work for a few days until you find somebody to replace me, but I'm going to work for these people. So I left and then went to drive as a taxi, and people would be looking at me and say, what are you doing here? But I loved it, and we could see the opportunity. We saw like there's a need, but also I didn't want to dive in without knowing, because I didn't want to spend money, and here it is, it's not worth it. So I was a driver, and then after driving, it's like, no, I can't do it driving. And then I took my C license, passed it without any issues. And winter come December, it's like, no, this is not for me. I can't do this. And like pushing, wheelchair in the winter was kind of hard. So I said, why can I work in your shop? I need to know what's going on in the shop. So I went, because if I'm going to have a business, I don't want to look like that lady who doesn't even know what's a brake is. If they tell me like your tie rods are messed up, I need to understand what they're talking about. So I went and worked in the shop like a manager there to make sure he had a problem. Like somebody just would say, I can help you, this will help me. And then 3 months later, we had our license, and here we are 3 years later, we're doing this. So, and the need, and you can like, I don't know if you saw on the news, people will be waiting for 2 hours in the snow, and like we could see the need, and that's something I love to help. And so it was just a perfect fit for me.
Wonderful. Thank you all for being such wonderful risk takers and starting your own businesses. So now let's hear some of the challenges that you had to go through, and how did you overcome some of them as you were starting your business? And Christine, if you would like to start, please.
Of course. So as when we started the business, most of the time, like you could see, and that time, that's when there's like a lot of methadone, people who use like drug and they have to go to rehab. And so if you look in Erie County, you will see like there will be like 100 companies for taxi only. And then you look in Chautauqua County, there's like 98 or so. There, we wanted something different. So we say, okay, we can't actually do well in this market. It's saturated. So then we narrow down, we look at wheelchair vans. They're only like how many, 10 or 5 and stuff like that. We started our application. Of course, New York State is the worst place to ask for, licenses. You 1 year waiting, you paying insurance, you paying all this money for you to just start, paying for an insurance for the car that is sitting down. Now you can see it's sitting down. So we did that. We applied for a wheelchair. We got a DOT, like we are the Department of Transportation certified, which people were afraid of. So we took that risk. And so the need was there. We found out, there's not a lot of wheelchair. And even if we have in those 10 wheelchair companies, only 2 were providing stretchers. So we say, okay, why don't we got one vehicle of a stretcher, one vehicle of bariatric, because we know like our size is not easy in America. So we got the bariatric, we get a stretcher. So anytime we'll go to any insurance company and they'll ask, do you have a stretcher? Say yes. Do you have a bariatric? We say yes. So we put ourselves up there that it was easy for us to get into the market. And right now it's really paying off, because right now I can see people like looking at us and say, can you, like last week I just signed a contract that I didn't even know where it comes from. I didn't know even these people, but they have a need and they want me to fulfill. So, and the challenges are really high. We have to work with the New York State, which is like, I was going to say bad word, but it's not a nice place to have a business with. We have problem with drivers. At the beginning till now, they have to have particular licenses. So, and also funds at the beginning, it was really hard, especially in COVID time was also the worst. But as you grow, as you juggle, as you fight, as you do things, you learn your way around. And here we are. So, yeah.
Thank you, Christine. I see you take one day at a time and keep improving yourself, and you're not afraid of anything that comes along your way. Thank you, Christine. So David and James, how do you overcome some of the challenges?
It's our business is prone to a lot of challenges, and every step of the way, take a normal business, and every single thing that you would take for granted, banking, insurance, e-commerce, you name it, everything, permits, it's all more difficult because you're working in a cannabis industry that is new and was non-existent basically when we started. When we started, it was just the medical program, which we were a support service for, but we weren't necessarily a part of. Now we're in a different position. We've gotten to the point where through perseverance and open communication and collaboration and finding really good people to work with, we got, the banking solved, we got the insurance resolution, we got the website up and running, and all these challenges. I mean, everything that you plan out takes a lot longer than you expect in a normal business. Multiply that by 10 for the cannabis industry, probably. And us personally, our story, we started with very, very, very modest capital, and we're able to kind of throw something together that was, scrappy and doing really good work and service and providing something that was in need, but it's becoming something more and more now that we couldn't have even imagined when we first started. So you kind of have to dive right in and not let the challenges, the obstacles really stop you, I would say.
And within those challenges, one thing that really we found helpful is, the relationships and how you maintain those relationships, how you value those relationships, and communicate within those relationships, and communicate your needs, and as your network grows, your access grows. So value each relationship, because you never know what it could turn into and how it could help solve a banking issue or result in additional capital or so many different things. So
yeah, to build off that, we have people that we came into contact with very early on, that it was so early that we didn't really have a way to collaborate with them. And now 3 years later, there's people that we met way back when that we've cultivated that relationship, we've kept in touch, and now we're able to partner on certain things and collaborate together. And when we first started, we thought it was like the time frame, we had to move, cannabis is becoming legalized, and we felt all this pressure. And then we realized that if we slowed everything down, cultivated each relationship, kept the conversation open, built trust, all these things, it paid off dividends in the long run.
Wonderful. Thank you, David and James. I think building partnerships and a support system goes a long way. Thank you. So how would you describe your company's culture? And David and James, if you would like to start, please.
I'm going to defer to James just a little bit on this one to start.
yeah, I mean, within the our company has a very, very cohesive, integrative, caring culture. I had this up so I could look at the PowerPoints. I want to make sure I cover everything, but yeah, inclusive and educational were the first two things that I put there, because we really want everybody who walks through that door to feel included, to feel welcome, to feel, the last one was the caring, the community care. A community that cares, we really do. And so when you walk through that door, that's the culture, that's the way we treat each other, and that's the way we like to treat each person that walks through the door. We treat each other as far as partnerships within the business, and then anyone that's never been.
And then the other side of it is the cannabis culture, because within the industry itself, we're sort of the outlier. We talk about cannabis in a way that some businesses touch on, but we're really focused on people understanding that it is a therapeutic tool. It is something that can provide tremendous benefit and is safe and effective. And some people misuse that medicine, that tool. Some people don't quite fully understand it. We're a really good entry point for anyone because we try to, build on that community, cannabis community culture,
Wonderful. Thank you again for being inclusive and partnering with different organizations. Thank you.
Yeah, and that list is our partners that we work with. A lot of the businesses there, those are all individual businesses or people that operate their own business, and each one has a different role and different relationship with Flowered Wellness. So
All focused on the endocannabinoid system.
yeah,
It's amazing. A holistic approach to wellness.
Correct.
exactly.
Thank you. So in your opinion, what are some skills that are needed to be a successful entrepreneur? And Christine, if you would like to start, please. Before that, Christine, if you'd like to touch upon the company culture as well.
Oh, the company culture. As I said, what I tell my drivers, like, you have to understand our clients. You have to be patient. You're not transporting a well person. We are transporting people who are going to see a doctor because they're sick. So you don't know what you're going through. And so I want to give them comfort. It's not just comfort, and also be there for, like, I didn't get a chance to take care of my dad or my mom, but if it was your dad, what will you do? Because we're working with a lot of elderly people. So if you're at work, are you worried that my mom is being picked up? So that's what I try to provide. And it always pays off when you hear like a hospital is like, yeah, call that lady at Prime Care, she will help you. Those are the stuff I want in my company. And one thing we did that actually put us on the map, we are a small company, we are a zero company, but the way we presented ourselves when we came out, we wanted to be different than any other company itself. So meaning, if you're coming in our event, we want you to feel like you are valuable. We want you to feel comfortable. So we started our business with new events, which people don't do, which bad decision, but at the end of the day, I'm not into like repairs a lot. So it paid off. It's going to pay off in the long run, but we also want people to feel like you don't have, if you have Medicaid, you don't have to go in the crappy thing. You want to be valuable. I always call, we are the Starbucks of the transportation company, just to say it. We want people to feel like that value, that you can go in looks, you can be, you can have a great driver and be able to, we don't have to treat you differently. That's what I try to teach my drivers. Be there, be Prime Care. You are the face of the company. The person in the office, you are the face of the company. Nobody knows you. They will talk to you, so you are the face of it. So that's what I'll touch on that.
I think
also,
quality matters for sure, and having that empathy and the human touch is obviously important to add value.
that you just said it the right way. So that's what it is. And you ask about how to be successful.
Yeah, some skills
And that's how you end up being successful, because if you just do things to do it and get it done, of course you have people living there. It doesn't mean like I don't make mistakes, but if I make mistakes, did I correct them, or do I keep the old way? So I'm open, open-minded, and I'm patient. Like I remember when I came to Willie, I only had like one or two vans. I was trying to add more vans. I didn't have $3,000 to pay for insurance at that time and pay, payroll at the same time. So now the $5,000 that they provided me, it helped me, pay for that particular insurance at that particular time, and it kept me going. So patience is the key. You cannot see, okay, today is right now, like you have $1 million. Hey, here I'm going shopping, because tomorrow you don't know what is going to happen. And that's how I see it. People think I'm crazy, but I want to keep my dollar in there. So I want to make sure it's safe. Patience, you sacrifice a lot. Like, even if we're right now, I can say like we're in the second or third in Western New York right now, like in Buffalo area, but I still take calls at night. I don't sleep, I don't, my weekends, I take calls. I make sure, like right now, before I came here, I had to go pick up somebody. So you have to sacrifice a lot. You have to work hard, and you have to love what you do. And one more other thing I'll say is you just have to be open. And like my friend said, that relationship, the place, like right now, I have a shop that I can go into and say, hey, Jeremy, help me right now. I need this car right now. Those little relationships, like, you go to AutoZone, you don't want to treat everybody at AutoZone. You want to treat them with respect, because when you go back, those are the people who will help you. So it's a whole network. It's a whole network of your banking. You have to know your managers at the bank. Like if I didn't know my managers, think about PPP. Mine was like, boom, boom, done, So you have to create that relationship, that networking where you have a to-go place. You can't be mean. You can't, just be open, respect each one, and just work hard. Don't spend. If you start spending and here you are, like you end up being bankrupt, even your company goes up, So even if the money is there, it's not for you. You're going to use it in the long run. So that's what I can say.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christine. And success, yes, doesn't come overnight. It takes patience over time. Thank you. David and James, what are some skills that you need as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to build off of what Christine was saying, patience is definitely an important thing. It was probably the biggest thing that I learned. Although I consider myself a pretty patient individual with business and pushing the company forward, I didn't have a ton of it in the beginning. And I had to kind of adapt and learn it a little bit more over time. And then also with the relationships, what we touched on earlier, for me early on, I was more capable of doing business with people that I didn't necessarily think were the best relationship, but it was business and I was willing to able to move forward. But I realized over time that those aren't the best business relationships anyway. Building the real long-term, slow, patient, stronger relationship pays off way more in the long run. Even if we would choose not to do something over starting a relationship off with somebody that didn't feel 100% right.
Yeah, and kind of just build off of that is, it's like living it. You really, because it's your business. It's really, it's your child. So, it's your 24/7. And that's something that I had to evolve with myself is, really, rather than just, looking at it as going to work, instead it's, living it and being it, embodying it. So that way, it's not work. That way it's a lifestyle, and it's just what you have to do to continue. But, at least with me, it's more powerful when you're, and when you're doing things with, with the energy of your body, with the energy of your life, rather than just because you have to, because it's, you know, because you have to do it. Instead, it's just, this is it. This is the journey. Like, you know, it's not about the end result, it's the journey. So living it and embodying it. So, you know, and that goes back with the entrepreneurial skills, is having that burning desire, you know, needing to that burn. So that way, the 25th hour, you can continue going.
And sticking to your gut and your convictions,
Yeah.
and your core values of the company that you established for a reason.
Yeah, which goes back to living. Yeah, it's just like what your insides tell you. You know, it's you probably need to listen to that. You know, that's how we got here, and it's, you know, how we need to continue, because it's how we got here.
An important thing too for us to note is that we're complete opposites, and we had to lean into that in the business too. So understanding that he's never going to be like me and I'm never going to be like him, and we need to meet somewhere in the middle.
Great. Yes, we all are unique, right? We need all the pieces of the puzzle to fit together for anything to be successful and complete. So,
And those pieces of the puzzle, you know, it's important to, you know, that they don't look the same, that those pieces aren't, you know, that they fit together, you know, in a complementary fashion rather than a duplicated fashion. You know, we want to all work together in everything that looks different does not mean it cannot be part of the puzzle. It is part of the puzzle because of, you know, it's different. So it's more important for understanding of that puzzle.
exactly. Thank you, David and James. So what's one piece of advice or any advice that you would like to leave us with, or for any of our entrepreneurs?
Well, definitely, if you're gonna start a business, do something you love. I know it's kind of a cliche. James and I don't come into work feeling upset, you know, or sad or frustrated, because we also built a space to suit us and was very, very comfortable, and we made that environment to our liking. So that was a big part of it too. And then patience is definitely the most important thing, I think, because for us too, like when we started the business, we didn't have.
Who did you apply for the PPP that they said they're having trouble with your account?
I'm sorry, say it again. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, that was a weird. So building the different tools that you need is really important, and patience is really, really important, because you know, we need to understand where we're going. And when we first started, we didn't really understand where the result was going to be. We had to kind of build the path as we went, because everything was changing in front of us. So patience, trusting your gut, understand that you're not going to make money on a business right away, or for probably a considerable amount of time.
Sweetie, so I do apologize. He gave you the wrong information. So if you look online, it says
sorry.
find an
Catherine,
eligible
could you
lender
please
that's
mute
participating
yourself?
in PPP, and they listed every
Okay,
lender
so
that
we
uses
need to
SBA
go-
funding,
So sorry, guys.
which meant that a huge amount of people.
Okay, I think we're good. That was not me.
Sorry, thank you. I was able to mute her. Thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry, David. James, if you could please continue. You're muted now. Sorry, I'm not sure how that happened.
No, it's okay. Just understanding that it's not going to be clear for everyone where your business is going to go. If you have an idea, you see an opportunity, there's a landscape that's out there that's accessible and attainable, and you have a skill that you can offer. We get asked all the time by people, how do I get in? How do I start? How do I get involved? And most of the time, it's really just, you got to just start doing it. If you have an idea and it's a product or it's a service or something, you got to get your hands dirty, because the only way you're going to figure it out is by learning from doing it.
Yep, we need to learn from our mistakes and, keep growing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's, the growing aspect of it, you don't give up, just continue to grow and continue to learn. And, every mistake is not really a mistake. It's just,
It's part of the learning process.
yeah. And it's very important. It's so important. It's such an important part of the learning process that needs to be valued, and, rather than just shrug it off, that happened for a reason, and to be able to capitalize on that reason, that those unfortunate circumstances happen, and so that way we can grow as a business and then as individuals.
Yeah, there's no such thing as like a bad thing, a bad meeting or a bad day or a bad situation. It's all a learning experience. If you had something that was not ideal, you take that and you make changes and you move on from it. It's important to be resilient in that way.
There's plan A, plan B, there's plan Z, right? So keep trying
So-
till you succeed. Yep, wonderful. Thank you, David and James. Christine, what is some advice that you would like to leave us with?
I would say don't get comfortable.
Mhm.
Don't get comfortable. It's easy to see that you're doing well, or you started everything, you're doing well. Don't get comfortable. Try to find how to reinvest yourself. Try to find what makes you, like, how can you grow more, or how can you make it better? Because there's somebody else who's looking around and who is ready to jump in. So you don't wanna get comfortable. And also one thing that I learned, I was working with a contractor. Every time that he needed something, I give him the money. He will spend it before doing the job. So you need to, whatever you promise to do it. If you can do it, it's okay to say no, and instead of accepting for doing something and then don't do it, because that's when you lose most of your business, because you won't be reliable. So you want to be reliable first, and also you want to be ethical. If it doesn't sound right, don't do it. Surround yourself with people who know what they're doing. Pay your employees, because one thing is employees. If they did work for you, you need to pay them on time and where you said you're going to pay them. So don't cut corners. Just be more, I don't know, like, mindful of your environment. And as long as you do that, I think you'll be good.
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah, complacency is not good, right? And change is the only constant that we have. So be ready and willing to accept any change. Yep, thank you. So how has VD or other organizations that you worked with, played a part in your success for your businesses? So Christine, if you would like to start, please.
I would say that actually they play a big role in my success. As I said, I go day by day. Today is different from 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I was so comfortable. I was coming to work at 10 o'clock. I was like, perfect, wearing my heels, coming to office. But now I'm on the street driving until 9 p.m. because I want to make sure everything is done. So that mentorship helps you. It helps you plan accordingly. It helps you know who you are. I don't know anything. My every single day, my learning experience. I work with Weedy into most of the time loans. If I need, if I go to them and say, hey, please, I need help with my QuickBook, whatever it is, I know for sure I'll get help. So I work with Pursuit, my HR, so there's help. You just have to know where to find it. So that's why I say information is the key, because there's 100 people who are up there who want to see you successful. You just have to reach out and to know what to ask. And if you don't know, they'll guide you, you know. I have been so lucky to have pursuits in my life. I have Weedy who are always, you know, saying, hey, Christine, there's Grant here. Those friends, they help a lot. So, and they will help you fill it out if you need to. So, you just need to surround yourself with the right people. You just need to surround yourself with, you know, the right environment, and you know, from Weedy, you get to know, let's say, the president of an MNT or Key Bank, or there's a pitch competition. Just don't be scared. Just open up, you know, go to people. Just don't stay in your shell. You know, we tend, I see people getting comfortable a lot, like in our industry especially, and you see that they're running the same thing 1 year, 2 years. No, you need to meet, you need to look around. You know, if you start this, it doesn't mean you cannot change it. So information, right, you know, network, mentorship from, you know, banking, from knowing how to use QuickBook or Excel, or even if you don't know how to use Word, just tell them, they'll help you out. You know, run your, you know, office, and there's help. So you just need to get the right people in the right time. And I have been so lucky to have that in my business journey, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christine. David and James, how has Weedy or other organizations supported you?
We've had tremendous support from Weedy and other organizations. We affiliate with the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, through the SBA, and Weedy. Those really the two main organizations that we've worked with pretty much since the beginning of Flowered Wellness. I'd recommend anybody to get as much help as possible from both those organizations. I mean, Weedy, the way our relationship began was through a microloan, and for us, we're unique because we're actually considered a high risk business. So getting access to funds, especially in 2018, was extremely difficult. And you were pretty much the only access point for us at the time for any type of funding. And then we didn't even know at the time how much more Weedy actually offered. And over the course of a couple of years, there was a time, and we wouldn't always go together. Sometimes we'd go together, sometimes we would go separately, but consulting with business advisors, marketing advisors, web advisors, any type of business consulting we've done. We work with somebody at the SBDC that we're in constant contact with, from anything from accounting help to generating a legal document, or just asking questions and support. And it alleviates a lot of costs for businesses, but it also is a really good sounding board for people that doesn't cost money, that can really help you kind of narrow things down and target things in the future. We love, on a personal note, James and I are both huge supporters of the Westside Bazaar, and just the fact that Weedy started that, and we've had several meetings there and go to eat meals there. Just the whole organization supporting it, understanding it, and making sure that the people that are accessing these funds understand that it comes with so much more that you should be utilizing.
Yeah, the access to resources and the mentorship, you know, to me is so huge. I mean, you know, not just the microloans that are offered, but the having someone like in the beginning of the process to be able to talk with that has experience, especially with those who are in the beginning of the process. So, you know, having someone to guide you along and offer you access with relationships from other individuals, or just right within, you know, within the Weedy itself, is so huge, because when you're in the beginning, every little victory is just so, you know, it's so important, and it's inspiring, and it just helps you continue along. So if you're smaller and you want to begin a small business, you know, Weedy is the perfect organization to work with because it's the right beginning point, and then it grows, and then it grows into more.
Yeah,
So-
and we're still accessing, we still
Yeah.
talk to consultants, and as we grow, I mean, we're not a huge company, I would say, by any means. We would still very much love to consult with Weedy, the SBDC, and we found private, you know, people that we know that are business entrepreneurs or people that work in different industries. We talk to as many different people as possible about our business so that we can understand it better.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christine, David, and James. The hour just flew by. You were amazing. And thank you for being fearless leaders in your own fields and, you know, teaching us so much more. I learned so much from all of you today, you know, patience and, you know, collaboration, partnerships, so much. The list is endless. Thank you really again for your valuable time on this panel today. Really appreciate that. And Weedy is available for you always for any resources. So please feel free. It's a mutual win-win situation for both of us. Thank you.
We appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
You'll see on your screen right now is our how to get in contact with either Prime Care Transportation or with Flowered Wellness. And I would like to also thank everyone, including Purnima. And then our next workshop, which is e-commerce worth it, is on June 30th. So I'm hoping that everyone will join us for that. You will learn the steps to decide whether or not e-commerce is something for you, or if you're thinking about it, you learn the next steps. And I also thank everyone for the insights into starting and sustaining a business. Continuing learning curve for all of us, and it's really wonderful. But Weedy definitely is here to help you. And if you need help from Weedy, you can visit us at weedybuffalo.org and get in contact with us. So
Thank you,
once
Kristen.
again,
Could you move to the next slide? Sorry.
I could indeed. We thank you. And our next is on the 30th at 4 p.m. Demystify successful e-commerce. So you'll learn the steps for the e-commerce, and this is Weedy and how to get in touch with us. So thank you, everyone. And does anyone have any questions? We're happy to answer them. If you do not, then that's okay too.
You did an amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
Juan.
How are you doing, guys? Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, we're good. I appreciate the opportunity. And Christine, I'm really loving everything you're saying and your business. And I think we would love to talk more and learn more about what you do too.
Yeah, would be nice. I'll come and visit you. You can come and visit me. I'm right here in Bailey.
Absolutely. Look at you have our info through the PowerPoint, so feel free to reach out. We'd love to have you.
So in other words, collaboration is key here. This is really super. So
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And please join us on June 30th at 4 p.m. And thank you, everyone. Christine, James, and David, and Purnima. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.